Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking the incredibly complex world of nonprofit administration, and we'll see exactly how Highbox solves these really unique challenges. Managing a mission-driven organization is fundamentally different from running a traditional business. The stakes are often way higher, resources are inherently leaner, and the expectations for flawless stewardship, they're immense. So today we're going to explore exactly why that is and how modern digital infrastructure is stepping up to meet those rigorous needs. We're going to see how Highbox for Nonprofit tackles the comprehensive HR needs of these organizations, literally transforming administrative chaos into streamlined mission impact. Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We'll start with a nonprofit HR challenge, move through unified communication and tasks, talk about managing that dual workforce, look at learning and audit-ready compliance, cover board oversight, and finally, we'll see how all of this scales your mission impact. Let's get right into it. Section 1, the Nonprofit HR Challenge.
We really have to start by acknowledging the sheer scale and complexity of this problem. 12.5 million. That massive number represents the individuals employed across the $1.2 trillion U.S. nonprofit sector. It's just a staggering figure. We're talking about 1.8 million registered organizations that form a critical pillar of both our national economy and our social fabric. But, behind that number are real individuals who are often stretched incredibly thin. Managing this vast workforce is fraught with challenges that simply don't exist in the corporate world. Since human capital is the primary mechanism for fulfilling a nonprofit's mission, when the systems supporting those people aren't synchronized, well, it leads to chronic burnout, stressful compliance fire drills, disengagement, and ultimately, a loss of public trust. You've got passionate people spending their weekends wrestling with spreadsheets instead of advancing the cause they actually care about.
And this is exactly why standard HR tools just fall flat for nonprofits. They're built for a single, straightforward workforce and basic payroll structures. Nonprofits, on the other hand, have to juggle a dual reality, integrating their core paid staff alongside a constantly fluctuating base of volunteers. And even more complex, the absolute nightmare of grant-linked labor allocation. In a standard business, payroll is pretty much just gross pay and taxes. But in a nonprofit, if an outreach coordinator's time is split, say 50% to a federal grant, 30% to a state contract, and 20% to a general fund, the underlying system has to track that with absolute, undeniable precision. If an organization can't prove exactly how that time was spent, they risk losing that grant funding entirely. It's a high-stakes exercise in stewardship that off-the-shelf HR tools just aren't built to handle.
Section 2, Unified Communication and Tasks.
So let's move to the first layer of the solution, getting everyone on the exact same page. The foundation of any highly functional nonprofit is a rock-solid communication infrastructure. By replacing fragmented email chains and disconnected, informal messaging apps with secure, designated communication streams, organizations instantly reduce all that costly context switching. You've got public streams for organization-wide announcements and celebrating wins. Then you have private streams, which are strictly invite-only, making them perfect for sensitive HR discussions or executive coordination. And crucially, you have external streams. Imagine you need to work securely with an outside auditor or a partner food bank. External streams allow for that seamless guest collaboration while fiercely maintaining your internal data security. Everything stays in one traceable, secure ecosystem. Now, instead of work being discussed in one place and managed in a completely different app, granular task controls need to live right inside those communication streams. This allows lean teams to operate with incredible precision. You can break down complex delegations with subtasks, set recurring tasks for routine things like quarterly donor reports, and instantly sort team priorities. But the real game changer here is time tracking. Think back to that grant-funded labor cost we just talked about. A stressed grant writer doesn't have to panic at the end of the month trying to piece together who worked on what. Every dollar spent on labor is traceable right from the task level, fully compliant, and instantly ready for federal audits. Section 3, Managing the Dual Workforce. So, how do we bridge the gap between our core staff and the lifeblood of our mission, the volunteers? Volunteers represent the absolute people power of a nonprofit. Yet, they're so often managed through horribly inefficient personal texts or messy, outdated spreadsheets. To fix this, we need a structured framework for the entire volunteer lifecycle. It starts with automated recruitment via clean online signups, which naturally flows into streamlined onboarding where volunteers review and legally acknowledge essential policies. And it all culminates in a mobile self-service portal. Empowering volunteers with this portal means they can independently sign up for shifts, view assignments, and submit hours directly from their phones. Just imagine the relief this brings to an overwhelmed HR coordinator who no longer has to manually text 50 different people just to fill a Saturday shift. It boosts volunteer autonomy while taking a massive amount of heavy lifting right off your team's shoulders. Section 4. Learning and audit-ready compliance. Engaging such a diverse workforce naturally brings us right to the doorstep of risk management and essential training. Get this, research shows a startling 60% of volunteer training is abandoned when organizations don't provide the proper accessible tools. Think about that for a second. The nonprofit sector operates with immense role diversity, from highly licensed clinical staff to completely untrained, well-meaning community volunteers. This inherently creates a massive training gap. When 60% of volunteers drop out of their clunky training courses, it's a profound loss of organizational capacity and a staggering waste of grant-funded investment. A dedicated learning management system designed specifically for nonprofits is absolutely essential. It keeps learners on track, engaged, and fully prepared before they ever step into the field. For a nonprofit organization, compliance is literally synonymous with financial survival. Regulatory risks are neutralized through integrated learning and a tamper-evident audit trail. Every single compliance activity, whether it's a new volunteer acknowledging child safety policies or a clinic worker completing mandatory HIPAA training, is recorded in a time-stamped, unalterable digital log. This provides a gold standard of proof. Imagine an auditor walking in and asking for proof of compliance. Instead of frantically digging through filing cabinets, executive leadership has a clear red, yellow, or green status indicator for all requirements across the whole organization. It ensures you're always ready for an IRS or funder audit long before a simple oversight becomes a real legal liability. Section 5. Board Oversight and Governance. Moving up the organizational ladder, we have to secure the fiduciary oversight provided by the board of directors. Nonprofit boards face deeply unique governance challenges, requiring high levels of transparency and strict adherence to bylaws. But, board members are usually volunteers themselves, often juggling demanding full-time jobs. A centralized board member dashboard deeply respects their limited time by prioritizing only the info they need most. It digitally tracks upcoming meeting dates, critical decision deadlines, and term renewals. Plus, it includes a secure document repository with granular permissions and complete version histories. This lets board members log in and see exactly how crucial policies or annual budgets have evolved over time, ensuring they are always executing their duties based on the most current, secure information available. Section 6. Scaling your mission impact. Let's look at what happens when all of these unified administrative modules actually hit the real world. 12 hours. That represents the staff time saved every single week at BrightPath Youth Development simply by eliminating spreadsheet chaos. By transitioning to a unified system, they created secure digital profiles for their youth participants, managed daily attendance without paper rosters, and completely stopped playing email tag to coordinate shifts. Those 12 reclaimed hours each week weren't just a nice administrative win. They represented a massive, tangible increase in capacity. The organization was actually able to serve more youth in their community without having to find funding to hire extra staff, all simply by eliminating the grinding friction of manual data entry. Ultimately, the big goal here is reaching 100% verified volunteer compliance. For organizations like BrightPath, this meant completely eradicating the risk of uncertified, unvetted personnel working with vulnerable minors. When your organizational data flows seamlessly from an initial online registration form straight to the CRM and directly into the compliance dashboard, it provides absolute, unwavering peace of mind. It allows program directors to instantly generate funder-ready impact reports. This fundamentally changes the relationship between the nonprofit and its key stakeholders, shifting the dynamic from one of defensive, stressful justification to one of confident, data-backed partnership. If you take away anything from this explainer today, it really should be this incredibly powerful realization. Software is no longer a luxury for administrative efficiency. It is the infrastructure of stewardship. Let me say that again. It is the infrastructure of stewardship. In an environment where resources are inherently lean and the expectations from donors, communities, and the IRS are incredibly high, the right technology stack isn't just a convenient tool. It is the absolute ultimate multiplier of your nonprofit's core mission. I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought. If every single hour saved on heavy administration is an hour given directly back to your cause, can your organization truly afford to remain fragmented? Think deeply about the hidden cost of your current disjointed systems, the siloed spreadsheets, the disconnected chat apps, the stressful manual compliance checks. Now imagine what unlocking all of that wasted time and energy could do for the real human beneficiaries relying on your services right now.
Start your free trial or schedule your demo at highbox.co.